Hello everybody, today I'm going to read the second chapter of our book this term, Daisy Dawson. Daisy Dawson is on her way. And this chapter is called Cheesy Cheddars. What was it this time? Asked Miss Frink as Daisy tiptoed into the classroom and mouthed, "Sorry I'm late," over the top of Marty Johnson's head. A tornado perhaps? An avalanche? An earthquake in the lane? As the rest of the class tittered into their reading books, Daisy shook her head and slid into her seat. "No, Miss Frink," she said. "It was none of those things." "Really?" replied the teacher icily. "Well, Daisy, you do surprise me." Daisy took out her pink pencil case and hooked her satchel over the back of her chair, hoping she might get off lightly this time. But Miss Frink was obviously in the mood for some entertainment. "Perhaps then, Miss Dawson, you would like to tell us all exactly why you are late again today." Daisy hesitated. She was an honest girl, and it was not in her nature to tell a lie, but she realised that "I've been talking to a dog" was unlikely to go down well with Miss Frink. So she said, "I'm afraid I completely forgot what the time was, Miss Frink." Which was true, of course. It just left out the interesting bits. "Again?" said Miss Frink. "Sorry," said Daisy. "I'll try to be on time tomorrow." "Trying is not good enough," said Miss Frink. "You will be on time tomorrow." She snapped her register shut and peered Daisy over the top of her spectacles. "Won't you, Daisy?" "Yes, Miss Frink," said Daisy. "I promise." At that moment, Bobby Mitchell fell backwards off his chair and everyone was told to stop laughing because it wasn't funny and he could have been killed. The long, hot morning went on. Daisy was soon so busy trying to work out whether 121 divided by 7 had a remainder, and if so, what to do with it, that she quite forgot about her strange conversation with Boom. She had just discovered that the remainder was 2 when she heard a small, squeaky voice say, "Oh wow, cheesy cheddars!" Daisy looked round to see if anyone else had heard it, but Miss Frink was in the corner, explaining hundreds, tens and units to Orange Group, and the rest of the class had their heads down over their maths book. "I love cheesy cheddars." "Hang on, Burp, don't eat them all, I'm coming over." Glancing in the corridor, Daisy saw a small gerbil scampering beneath a row of coats. It stopped for a second, sniffed the air, then disappeared into a lunchbox that had fallen open on the floor. There was the sound of giggling followed by crunching noises. "These are really great, aren't they?" said a little voice happily. "Cheesy cheddars are my #1 favourite," said the other voice. "They taste like the sun just blew up in your mouth." "Bam!" exclaimed the first voice. "Delicious!" This was followed by a lot more giggling. Daisy suddenly remembered that Bobby Mitchell had been playing with the class gerbils, Burble and Furball, earlier that morning. She looked anxiously across at the glass tank full of straw and sawdust and noticed that the top had not been put back. A half-chewed cardboard toilet roll tube was pushed up against the side of the tank. Burble and Furball were nowhere to be seen. "Uh-oh," thought Daisy. Placing her pencil neatly along the crease of her maths book, she thrust her hand up into the air. "I don't care who started it," Miss Frink was saying to Wayne Bishop. "I'm telling you to stop it right now." Daisy coughed politely. "Excuse me," she said. "Yes, Daisy," said Miss Frink. "What is it?" "We haven't taken the register up to the office yet." Daisy smiled her biggest, most helpful smile. "Shall I take it up to you?" Miss Frink frowned. "Have you finished your maths yet?" Daisy looked down at her book. "Almost," she said. "I'm on to the problems now." "You can say that again," she thought to herself. Well, said Miss Frink, softening a little, that would be very helpful, Daisy, but don't be long and don't dawdle. I won't, said Daisy, picking up the register from Miss Frink's desk. She closed the classroom door behind her and stood next to the coats, listening carefully. What's your favourite? Asked a small voice. Sunflower seeds or sandwiches? Dunno, replied another little voice. I've never had a sandwich. There was a pause. When have you ever had a sandwich? Well, said the first voice, sounding as though its mouth was full of something. I'm actually having one right now. This was followed by a joyful cry of, oh, it's a cheesy sandwich, and the sound of little voices giggling with their mouths full. Daisy crouched down next to the coats. Excuse me, she said, but I think that's someone else's lunch you're eating. The giggling stopped. Did you hear that? A voice whispered. Yes, I did, whispered the other voice. Was she talking to us? Don't be daft, said the first voice. Since when have kids been able to talk to gerbils? Actually, I am talking to you, announced Daisy. And what's more, I know you can hear me. There was a spluttering noise and the sound of cheesy breadcrumbs being sprayed around the lunchbox. Then a furry little face poked out from under the plastic cover. When it saw Daisy, it whipped back inside. It's a girl, it squeaked, and she is talking to us. Pull the other one, said the first voice. It's got bells on it. If you don't believe me, take a look for yourself. Go on. Another tiny face appeared and stared at Daisy with its shining brown eyes widening in surprise. Then it shot back inside and banged its head on the lid. Ouchie! See, told you. Listen, said Daisy patiently. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want a word with you, that's all. There was a rustling sound and the two gerbils popped their heads out of the lunchbox. You're a talking girl, said one. Daisy recognised him as Furball by the little white patch on his nose. How amazing is that? Not as amazing as my first ever cheesy sandwich, said Burble. She slid back into the lunchbox and let out a tiny burp. Oopsie, beg your pardon. You really shouldn't be out here, said Daisy. Miss Frink will be very upset if she finds out that you've run away. Well, replied Burble, in that case, she should give us cheesy sandwiches then, shouldn't she? Cheese sandwiches aren't proper food for gerbils, said Daisy. If you had them all the time, you'd probably get ill. It'd be worth it. They're gorgeous. Listen, said Daisy, trying to get the conversation back on track. I really think you should go back to your tank now. There's the two little gerbils popping out. A gerbil's a little bit like a hamster and a mouse. They're quite cute. Don't want to, said Furball. Food is boring and it's got sawdust in it. That's because you keep chucking it on the floor, said Burble. If you ate it out the dish, there'd be no problem. Ooh, hark at her, said Furball, putting on a posh voice. That's because you keep chucking it on the floor. I chuck it on the floor because it's boring. I want cheesy cheddars, thank you very much. Tell you what, said Daisy. If you go back to your tank now, I'll give you both a cheesy what's-it from my lunchbox when I get back. Oh, said Furball, sounding interested. What's a what's-it? I know, squealed Burble excitedly. They're them orange things that go crunch, crunch, crunch. And then afterwards, everything tastes of cheese, even the air in your nose. Whoa, said Furball. I have got to get me one of those. So we've got ourselves a deal then, asked Daisy. Make it 2, said Burble. 2 what? Said Daisy. 2 what's-its each and you're on. Daisy looked doubtful. I don't want you to be sick, she said. 2 what's-it seems an awful lot for one gerbil. We could save the other one for later, suggested Furball. Yeah, right, said Burble. That is so going to happen. But come on, 2 what's-its won't kill us. What do you say? Daisy nodded. took both little paws gently between each finger and thumb and shook them. "Okay," she said, "deal." Then, watching them scamper off towards the classroom, she remembered the register and quickly made her way towards the office. As soon as school was over, Daisy grabbed her satchel and ran up the lane as fast as her legs could carry her. She could hardly wait to see Boom again, to tell him about the gerbils and ask him if there was anything special he wanted in his sandwich tomorrow. But when she leant over the gate and called him, there was no response. Daisy was puzzled. Where was he? Boom always wandered out to see her when she called. Clambering over into the field, she made her way across to the old barn and peered through the broken window. Apart from some straw and a rusty tractor, the barn was empty. Boom was nowhere to be seen. And that's the end of that chapter. I wonder where Boom's gone. Perhaps you could have a think, have a guess. Where do you think Boom's gone? He's always there to see her, but he's not there today. Maybe he's off on the farm doing some jobs. And I wonder, so far Daisy's spoken to Boom. She's spoken to the two gerbils. Wonder who she's going to talk to in the next chapter. Who would you like it to be? A bird? A horse? A snake? Maybe she goes to the zoo and sees a lion. Who knows? But wouldn't it be exciting if we could talk to animals? I've got lots of questions I'd like to ask my dog. Anyway, hope you've all enjoyed that chapter, and we'll see you all soon for another one. Bye!